Strong women intimidate weak men. That's known. Because if he was an alpha, and he was in his masculine energy, pure masculine energy, not wounded energy, he would want a smart, hardworking woman on his side because she will inspire him, she'll guide him, she'll give him advice, she'll give him constructive criticism. She will be there, she'll be his rock, and together they can build. I don't want a man to sit down and watch me build and clap for me. No, I want a man to build with. So when a man is intimidated by a strong woman, he's weak. It's because there's nothing to be intimidated about. Men and women don't compete with each other. They complete each other. So I do need a man that is in his alpha and masculine, because if he's not, then I will tap into my masculine energy to basically bring that masculine energy into the relationship. Because he doesn't have it. So it's so important for a man to be healed in his alpha energy, in his healed energy, for him to be able to allow the woman safely to drop into her feminine. And for her to be a little girl. And it's very important because a lot of men complain, oh, females are very masculine nowadays. Men made us become like that. Life made us become like that. But if I am with a healthy man, I'd be a baby. I'd be a girl. I don't want to be I don't want to be the boss lady at home. I don't want that. I want to be a girl. I want to be taken care of.
I don't consider myself to be a particularly ethical person, but I am fair.
But I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can fucking die with them or not. I'm not, but I...
Everywhere you go, you're an anomaly. You're the original anomaly! And all this time, I have been the only one holding it all together!
Miguel, go easy on him!
You don't belong here. You never did. Has no idea what he's doing!
And I'm about to do this. Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
War isn't a game, girl.
That's funny. Soldier 76 said the same thing.
You spend your second chance at life walking a lonely road. No one cares, monk. Someone always cares. You must simply seek them out. I shouldn't be surprised you took his side.
You never gave me much choice. Wanna know what Martina's been up to?
Not interested.
That's not what my tracker says.
Are you ever tempted to contact your wife?
No.
Afraid she would try to kill you?
I'd be surprised if she didn't.
Your body seems to be adapting well to the changes, Gabriel.
This is what you call well.
Welcome, my friends. My name is Antoine Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, and turn on all notifications so you know when I have a whole new video up. Today's video is about what is an alpha female. I'm undecided on the title I'm going to use, but I think I'm going to use that one. But we're going to be talking about how women see themselves as an alpha female and how a lot of times men will see a woman that says that she is an alpha female. And those two doesn't always line up to be. On a previous video, I did, are you an alpha or a beta man or male? for men to look at themselves. I always believe that, and I said that in that video, that we have both dominant and submissive traits in ourselves. And depending on what you're going through in your life, or what particular field that you are in, I wasn't going to really say that, but I know I made an analogy of, if a man is a boss at his job and he's running the company well, but when he gets off that job and he comes home, his wife might be bossing him around, or either he might go somewhere where he wants to be bossed around. And as I say there, does that still make that man alpha? Okay. In his job, yes, he's definitely alpha. But in his everyday life, dealing with people in his life, he may not be seen as alpha. Now, I think that's the same thing that goes with women when they be beating their chest saying that I am an alpha female. But when women are usually saying that, the characteristics that they usually embody usually seem to be negative, and they usually want a man to just take it, and most men are not going to take it. So I'm going to show this particular video that I've already showed in the previous one, again, not the full video, but just this part here, because this woman believes that she's an alpha female, but she has a lot of toxic negative traits. So that's the thing that I want to separate here. That if a woman is saying that she's alpha, and I will also say if a man's saying this too, but because women tend to say this more in real life, if you are displaying these types of characteristics, are you a good person? Are you is this how you see yourself as alpha?
Again! But as I sit here and I think of all these women who actually go out and you yourself attract a man that you consider a beta, and then you get mad at this man that do everything you ask him to do, don't want to stand up to you, don't fight back. He doesn't fight you the way that you feel you deserve to be fought, because he's not the man that put you in that position. He ain't your motherfucking daddy.
Nope.
He ain't your ex-boyfriend. He ain't the brother. He ain't the uncle.
Nope.
He ain't whoever used to abuse you. He is not that person. And then we sit up here and we talk to our homegirls and we talk down on the beta male or the dude that's a little bit more patient for your crazy ass. And then you say that he got problems because he won't stand up to you for the shit you doing intentionally.
Nope.
Thank you. Very well said.
How that work? You got mental health issues.
But you don't have the time.
So from my experience, and even in my life, women that will say that they are alpha females are usually displaying that type of characteristic there. What man wants to deal with that? Now, if the woman is very attractive and he puts her on the pedestal, that's why we have that term for men that are simps. They will bow down and kiss that woman's feet, and she won't respect them, but she will like the attention or the money or whatever it is that those men, now those are weak men that are giving to her. Now, a lot of times this will differ from what women will say is a weak man. This is what men will usually look at as men that are weak, that are just bent over backwards to a woman that doesn't appreciate him, doesn't respect him, doesn't even want him. And women will usually, because I've got into some debates with some women, and they see nothing wrong for a man that's just emptying his pocket or just doing stuff for women that is basically using him. Now, the only thing though, she's not asking him to do anything, but she's not really stopping him neither. Now, sometimes there will be women that will tell a man that don't do something, but most of the time, if you're going to do something, not expect anything in return, she will gladly take it, from money to whatever. Okay, usually I feel uncomfortable depending on what the person is giving me, because even if they're not saying I owe them, I will feel like, I guess, that law of, I'm not even sure what kind of law it is, but I know it was ingrained in me that when somebody does something for you, you should do something for them. And that's why I have that balance thing of, I would treat a person how they are treating me. So if they treat me good or doing certain things, is a part of me that will either, if I'm not interested in them at all, I will totally stop, or either I will start giving things to them. Now, I just had to say that particular thing right there, because I noticed there are certain things that women will not really stop or look down on, that men will look down on, that men may be doing for women that are undeserving, and women will do the opposite of stopping women for either being a good girlfriend or being a good wife. We're not asking some random woman to be bent over backwards for us, but we do expect certain things from our wife or girlfriend. And this is why a lot of times relationships will break up, because her friends or other women will come in and say, oh, don't be doing that for that man, he can do it himself, or either she deserves so much better, or she deserves a guy that's doing stuff for her. Now, bear in mind, I am one of those people that I don't think either gender should be taking advantage of the other one. I think both people should be putting in reciprocal energy, whereas one person is doing for them and they are doing for the other person. May not always match up exactly, but each person that supposedly say that they love the person should be doing things to help make that person's life easier or better, or to bring a smile upon their face. Now, I might got a little bit off what I was talking about, but I just wanted to make those comparisons of how a lot of times women will look at things that men do for women, and they will want men to do certain things, but at the same time, they don't want to do certain things, and they will look at it as not being alpha if they are doing those things right there. Whereas men have a similar thing, but we are more about, if we are in a relationship with the person, then it doesn't matter, is when we are not in a relationship with the person. And women will want what they usually can get, whether you're in a relationship with them or not, and they don't want to reciprocate. This is not all women, but this is a lot of women. And that goes into a little bit of the thing of how men and women have two different ideas of what alpha is. Now, also, there's the thing of being alpha, and I guess with finances, I do think a lot of women look at themselves as being alpha when they have finances. But it's not a problem if you have money or if you are successful. It's how you are acting when you are successful. And Matt Walsh, and I'm surprised he did this, but yo, I have to give him props, because that's one of my big complaints with those men that will say you should marry and do certain things. They usually do not put out the negatives, or at least point out how we as men don't like when women are behaving in a certain kind of way.
I don't want her to die alone with only her cats to comfort her. And that's why I have to inform her that men are totally repulsed by smug, condescending attitudes in women. Like, this is the personality trait that men, all men everywhere, find the most off-putting. Okay, you might think that it's funny or cute or endearing, but it's not. It's disgusting. We recoil from it instinctively. Our aversion to it is deep and visceral. So if you're a woman and you want to turn off as many men as possible, just be sarcastic, smug, and condescending. And it's not just men. People in general find that kind of personality to be extremely gross and repugnant. Although perhaps I shouldn't really call it a personality. And it is indeed the absence of personality. She's very animated and makes lots of exaggerated gestures and facial expressions. But underneath all of that is a bitterness and narcissism and shallowness that the histrionics cannot sufficiently compensate for.
Oh my God. Is that Matt Walsh? Did he actually say that? Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I know men in the man space, the red pill stuff, they get a lot on the negative, and I definitely supported that because they was at least exposing the other side of the coin here. Whereas men like you were just saying how great marriage is and how you should just bend the knee for the women. Not that you say that right there, but similar thing like Steve Harvey, like you will rarely ever check the women. This is one of those rare occasions that you pointed out something that men do not like with women. Even still, I appreciate the fact that you did it right here and I have recorded evidence. So, a lot of women that will say that they are alpha will be displaying those type of characteristics. And then they will say, well, a real man can't handle me, and of course, women of my culture was starting to say this. Not all black women, but there were some women that whenever you would say that you don't want to deal with that, they'll say that you're weak and you're not real in, or you call you every name under the sun. Then, of course, the Hispanic women started doing that. And then, of course, the white women started doing it too. I'm not sure because I know that they say that feminism came from the white women, but I will, from the white women. And once again, I think feminism started for a good reason, that the men was getting totally out of control. So what did you expect to happen? Did you expect people to keep getting stepped on and squished? Whether it was black people, all people throughout history, eventually they get to a point that they had enough. Now, I guess the thing was, once it got to the point, people still keep reaching back and using things that happened then and acting as if we are still in that time, because black people do the same thing. And of course, I know we still battling racism on different levels or prejudice. I just wanted to point that out, is I don't blame feminism entirely for this, as some people will say. Well, some people in my space will say. But I do think that is a misunderstanding thing here, is similar like with the alpha female type of thing. Originally, I would look at alpha female as usually the most shapely, attractive woman that's attracting all the men's attention. And that's the same thing with alpha men. The men that are 6 foot, Jason Momoa, not always men that are bigger stature. You can also be men that are pop singers or performers that also get that same type of big attention from women. I would look at them as the sexual alpha, okay? And that right there is how I think most people pick when they are picking the opposite gender. Now, the other stuff with the money, and this is a big reason why sometimes when men have money and women are still picking Pookies and Ray Rays or thugs and hoodlums because they are picking those types of men. I understand women, they're trying to be like men that have like a lot of money. They are trying to be picked not just on their looks, but the things that they have acquired in their money, their successes. And that's why I think a lot of times women will start rolling that particular thing out. So I understand where that is coming from right there. Just understand most men don't care too much about it. And the reason why we don't care too much about it, because unless if you have a relationship like that relationship with that video I did with What is Love.
What's wifey material to you?
Her. Everything that she is.
That's really cute.
Do you think you're wifey material?
For Luca, yeah.
Do anything for him?
Yeah, I would do anything.
How long have you two been together?
Like a year and 2 months.
Do you guys want to split 50-50 or do you prefer to be a stay-at-home mom?
In terms of income, it's complicated because I want to be a surgeon. That makes a lot of money.
I know that like at a certain point I want to go to Harvard Law and like I'm gonna have to support her and like help her for a little bit, but she's also gonna be a neurosurgeon, so like that's gonna help out a lot.
You're gonna be the breadwinner at first?
Yeah, at first and then later on.
And then you might end up surpassing him?
Oh, like by a lot.
When you do finally surpass him in income, do you think that would change your relationship at all?
No.
Money's like not at all a factor in love.
No.
What about some of the household stuff? Who does more chores?
He's better at cooking. I would clean more. I cannot cook for anything.
I feel 50-50.
He's like a great chef. I'll do anything he wants and he can cook and it'll be even.
It seems like you guys have a really healthy relationship. I like that.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thanks. A woman wants you to pay everything anyway. So whether we have the same amount of money or whatever, and that's why I will hear some women say they want a man to make twice the amount that they make. Okay, so if she makes 100,000, she wants him to make 500,000, a million, because she wants to be able to spend her money however she wants to spend it. Probably not spending it on him at all or anything. And the man that has a lot of money is probably not going to think too much of it. And then at the same time, that man is going to pay everything. And therefore, if you get married and divorced, she has walk away money because, and not to say all women think like this, but I do think women that do get money, they'll have women around them telling them what they should be doing. And in some rare cases, like Beyonce and Jay-Z, yes, you get the power couple thing. But at the same time, what a lot of people forget, they're in the same industry and they was both scaling at around the same time. So right there, that's not always a good comparison. That's almost like if the CEO of Nike was to marry the CEO and happened to be a woman of Adidas. They come together and everything works out fine. But most of the time, it doesn't go like that. It goes like Bill Gates with Microsoft. He's going to marry, well, who did he marry? I heard he married his secretary. I do not know this for sure. I have to take and look back on it. But then eventually they got divorced. So if you're going to be an alpha female and you want an alpha guy, there definitely should be a 50-50 thing. But once again, most of the time when women are touting that around, they want a lopsided thing, whereas, and understand, most men are built like that anyway, that they're going to take care of the woman. That is the thing right there. Most men want to take care of their woman, unless if they're a lazy pookie or something that just wants to bleed off the woman. At the same time, a woman wants you to be this much more than her financially, and obviously like taller to go with that. So if that's the case, if you are a alpha male financially, it's going to be real hard to get with a woman that's saying she can do everything herself, but she wants you to come into her life and do everything for her, basically, financially. And I'm going by what a lot of women have said. The woman in the very first video, she was saying both of them will build together. And I have to admit, sometimes that turns me off when women are saying things like that of I want a man to build together. It sounds good, but I don't think that's exactly what she wants to do. I think she wants him to excel and her to do her own thing, have her own money. And then when they split, or when she get tired, or when he cheats, or when she cheats, she can just walk away with cash and prizes later. So, anyway, that is the alpha female of how a lot of times men see alpha female. And that's why usually we don't want to deal with that. But hey, you women, you do you. I don't mind the partner thing, but I now feel like that's a good fancy conversation that doesn't hold much weight in what the woman's going to do once she totally gets into a relationship. And once again, that's not all women, but I can't really trust what they be saying, because their mind may change, or the right person may come in their ear and be whispering something to them. And that's pretty much it. So give me a like and subscribe, and have a good day. Good night.
What to say when someone belittles you. Number 1, make them say it again. When you calmly say, "I need you to repeat that," or "I want you to say that again," they don't get that hit of dopamine they were expecting from your reaction. You've now just put a big spotlight on their behavior, and that makes them nervous. Number 2, regardless if they actually had the guts to repeat it, we're now going to turn the tables using questions of intent. These sound like, "Did you want that to hurt me? Did you intend to embarrass me?" Instead of a spotlight, they now have a mirror that they have to face themselves with the question, "What was my purpose saying that?" And number 3, no matter what they say, don't respond. Let your silence be your answer. They're going to say that they're just joking, or they're going to start fumbling over their words and backtracking. When they do, just let that linger. Then you're the one who looks at control.